We know who they are. They short the market, they short the dollar, and when things look unstable or the situation gets a little rocky here at home, they look for the exits. Maybe they move their money or their businesses offshore because they think America has seen her best days. But truly smart people, including smart Democrats, know that betting against America has always been a losing proposition, even during our darkest hours, the Civil War, the Great Depression. At a recent Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting, Warren Buffett, who's no fan of Donald Trump, discussed America's past and future trials.
You had this testing period, and people really they'd lost faith to some degree. They just didn't see the potential of what America could do. And we found that nothing can stop America when you get right down to it. It may have been tested again in the Great Depression, and it may be tested now to some degree. In the end, the answer is never bet against America.
And it shouldn't surprise you, any of you, that Warren Buffett is a hell of a lot smarter than left-wing economists who've been predicting doomsday scenarios for the U.S. economy since COVID. Well, today, the Dow jumped 500 points, almost closing above 25,000. Consumer confidence rising. Investors across the board are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. And Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, Utah, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi's, all run by, pretty conservative governors. Well, you see, their life is finally getting back to normal. Even California's lockdown lover, Gavin Newsom, he's under pressure from lawsuits from small business owners and people in the faith community, and he has had to ease up also. Los Angeles County officials initially suggested the lockdown could last through the summer. But after massive backlash across the board, LA County is aiming to now reopen on July 4th, and churches are opening at 25% capacity starting tomorrow. And as for those blue state governors that just won't accept yes for an answer, well, don't believe for a second their fraudulent justifications that it's all for your own safety. They always say that when they're taking away your constitutional rights. But it's becoming more obvious by the day that these power-hungry governors and radical mayors are endangering their states' futures and will eventually see their states left behind. Now, it's horrific enough that Andrew Cuomo ended up creating death traps in New York's elderly facilities, but now his slow roll to reopen is doing untold damage to his state going forward. The Washington Post wrote this piece over the weekend. They ran it about how the COVID shutdown has been the straw that broke the camel's back for New York. More residents now are reporting being so fed up with life in the Big Apple that they're relocating to places where they can actually have a decent standard of living. And Cuomo wants taxpayers in Florida and Texas and beyond to bail him out? None of these lockdown liberals should get a penny more in bailout money so long as they continue this lockdown stuff. Because the longer they stay locked down and you have all these other onerous and unnecessary restrictions in place, the more difficult, the more expensive, and I'd say the more dangerous it becomes for their states, the longer any kind of recovery will be. Given that we now know that the virus is a lot less deadly than originally thought, and that it's most dangerous to the confined elderly, there's no good reason to keep any part of the country completely closed. Unless, that is, you don't want America to recover, at least while Trump is president. An article in Politico, you may have heard of it, it reported over the weekend that Democrats are privately freaking out. Yes, you heard that right. That the American economy will be in a massive recovery mode come the fall. Check this out. This is my big worry, said a former Obama White House official who's still close to the former president. Asked about the level of concern among top party officials, he said, it's high, 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 high. Now, how do you describe this except to say that Democrats see their only serious path to victory hinging on your despair? Deep down, it seems like they're rooting against life getting better for American families. They're rooting for Americans to remain unemployed. Can you believe that? Anyone? Or for schools to stay closed? Now, long after we flatten the curve, they issue these grim warnings of a second wave, a third wave. It could come next month. It could come in September. It could be worse. More people dead. Or the super spreader phenomenon, or you really have to have 18 feet social distancing, or 30 feet, or sneeze spreads 40 feet. Every minute of every day they have to push the panic button to scare you back into your homes. They shame people who don't bow down to their new rules. But in the end, most of these people seeking to control your behavior don't apply the rules to themselves. They never do they? We'll share the biggest offenders with you in just a moment. Now, what worries these hypocrites is not the dire situation they created in their own states. They're worried about the possibility of your state's economic recovery. Trump could be poised to benefit from the dramatic numbers produced during the partial rebound phase that is likely to coincide with the 4 months before November. That realization has many Democrats spooked. Now let that sink in for a moment. Where you and I are spooked about the idea of living like masked zombies waiting for government checks for this foreseeable future, the Democrats are spooked by the idea that things are getting better. In March, Biden's campaign, Pelosi, Schumer, the whole gang were betting that the virus would cripple the economy right through the election. The only way that happens now, though, is if enough blue state governors make life unlivable for the 99.99% of Americans who survive this virus. That's a pathetic, anti-science, sicko campaign strategy. But let them make that bet. America will not allow this crisis to beget a waste. And that's the angle.